Yeah.
Mm, I kind of wanted to also see more from Sarada versus Hidari because last chapter showed us, Sarada countering Hidari's Chidori with Sarada activating her Sharingan, which I do believe that if you activate the Sharingan, I think the three Tomoe Sharingan, if I'm not mistaken, you should have some sort of precognition, if I'm not mistaken.
It's just a Sharingan in
Yeah,
general, but yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
just
The three Tomoe is just better
oh yeah,
than the two
just
Tomoe and one Tomoe.
yeah, pretty much just another next step. Does it also enhance your precognition? Just have like activating the Tomoes?
Well,
Yeah,
like the three
yeah.
Tomoe has a better ability to predict the next attack than the one Tomoe
Okay.
or two Tomoe.
Yeah.
With each Tomoe, you basically have better visual acuity, which is what allows them to predict the movements.
And again, if you go back to the Haku fight or the Naruto vs Sasuke Part 1 fight, it's like very clear when Sasuke activates his Sharingan that he can see the movements better now.
Yeah, but the way he
Yeah.
sees it in the Naruto fight is like the way it's depicted is as if he's just seeing the end result of the punch before it starts. Whereas with Haku, it's not like that.
Yeah.
And I do believe that that's the main reason why Hidari. Now, I don't know. Hidari having a Rinnegan and using the Chidori, does it like what happened? Sorry. I would ask what happens when you use a Chidori with a Rinnegan, but I really don't know for sure.
Bro, that was so weird
I
to
mean, this
me.
chapter, assuming the Rinnegan functions like a Rinnegan, as he has a Rinnegan, this chapter confirms that you, at least like Madara, for example, lost the Sharingan benefits when he got a Rinnegan. Sasuke, in one of his eyes, like Sasuke's tricky because he has the Tomoe, so in theory, maybe that Rinnegan eye kept its power somehow. But
Yeah.
at least for Madara, who doesn't have those, it seems as though Madara loses that benefit and in exchange got Rinnegan things.
So, Kamui, on that, I agree with you. However, I will play devil's advocate by saying there's some possibilities that still exist. For example, we know once you unlock just a Sharingan ability in general, it seems like you might be able to just retain it even without the eye. For example, blind Madara uses Susanoo. Maybe you
see,
just
again,
keep
you can't, because the Susanoo is the exception for a very specific reason. It is not an ability of the eye. You merely awaken. That's the difference. It's never described ever once as an ability of either eye. You just unlock it when you happen to unlock the abilities of both of your eyes. But the ability itself has never required the use.
Okay,
of
but
those
hang
eyes.
on. But wait. That's not. I'm not done. That was just one possibility. That was like the weakest one. The second thing is the fact that in some cases the Rinnegan just manifests on its own. So for example, the 6 Paths of Pain, they didn't have 12 Rinnegan just lying around. They just turned the eye into a Rinnegan, but it's not like a real Rinnegan. Same with like Edo, Tensei, Rinnegan, those aren't real. Same with potentially, I've seen someone mention this, the Shinju. They might have artificial fake Rinnegan.
Sorry, I apologize. I don't know how this happened. I accidentally just turned the volume down. Can you just repeat the last 15 seconds?
Okay.
After the pain thing.
Yeah, so like the Pain, they don't have real Rinnegan. It's the Edo Tensei Rinnegan aren't real either. Madara's nor the Jinchurikis. And then similarly, people have been saying it's possible that the Shinju don't have real Rinnegan either. Their Rinnegan is faker, artificially manufactured, or something, to where it doesn't count as a quote unquote real Rinnegan. I don't know the distinction between real and fake because I never really explained that, but like
so
they're
the
clearly.
thing that's weird though is because so for example, with the 6 Paths of Pain, on one hand they're not real Rinnegan, but at the same time they do function as real Rinnegan because A, they share the vision as they're supposed to, and B, Nagato uses the Rinnegan jutsu via those pain. He can just only do one at a time, for whatever reason. But
Didn't he distribute the power amongst each 6 paths of pain?
Yeah.
Yeah, he distributed each ability to him.
Well,
Now, this is a small side note, but I've always just wondered this. Theoretically, could Nagato have chosen to just use one pain with all 6 abilities? Like, was that theoretically possible for him to do?
I don't
could.
think so, because I feel like the chakra receivers have a part to play into what was happening there.
Yeah.
Well, they do. The chakra receivers are how he transmits the chakra
No,
to
obviously.
those bodies. But the question is still like, but the thing is, it's like he somehow just like distributed specific type of chakra or
Yeah,
something.
that's
like
what I'm
Almighty Push
speculating.
chakra.
Is that I think something
But then
like that
he
might
should be able
be
to
at
just
play.
like, but like, why would he only be able to distribute one type of chakra with these
I don't know.
like rods?
But again, that's where the speculation comes into play. Why do you think that might be possible? Do you have a possibility of
I
why?
mean, yeah, I don't really know how. First of all, I don't really. Okay, so apart from the theoretical, he just chose to do it situation. That in that case, it seems it would be like a functional that he could just. Okay, so real quick, just backtracking. The rods themselves, they're just allow the user to impose their will onto a target. When Madara tries to use it, he tries to use it to control Obito. He ends up failing because Obito kind of wins, but he's trying to control Obito. Nagato uses it to control the dead bodies of pain. Obito uses it to control the Biju and dead Turkey, blah, blah, blah. So that's all they are. It's just your chakra controlling a person or object, I guess, in theory. So since it's your chakra, it would just be able to do your chakra thing, seemingly. So in Nagato's case, it's theoretically possible that A, he wanted 6 bodies because A, the coolness of it, 6 paths of pain, but more importantly, the shared vision benefit. That was a big benefit. And so it's theoretically possible that by choosing to say, okay, the animal path can only use this one ability, that will make that animal path stronger. The thing that's stupid about that, though, is that's kind of like a Hunter x Hunter, Jujutsu Kaisen type of thing, like a binding vow, contract with conditions type of thing. It's not really a Naruto
I
thing.
have more
That's the problem
possibilities
with
for
that.
you. So a couple possibilities. First of all, Orochimaru describes chakra like colors. So even though it's never visually shown to be like this, what if each path of pain is just like a different color of chakra that pain can transmit it, but he can't mix those colors? He can't put the yellow chakra into the red pain.
But the problem is, though, Nagato's chakra would be like the rainbow that just has all the colors to begin with.
Yeah, I
Because he
know.
can do all the
So
juice.
he has all the colors, but he can't give others all of the colors.
Okay, so I get what you're saying. Okay, that only works though if Nagato's chakra is like the segmented thing where he's got a red part, a blue part, and a yellow part, so on, versus it just being like black because it's the mixture of all of them.
Yeah.
So it would entirely depend on that. But I don't.
Well, you can
feel
still
like
separate light
anybody
into
just
rays
has
through
chakra like
mirrors,
that.
but that's still possible to scatter light in that way. But either way, another possibility with this is it could be going back to shout out the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, go ahead and join the Discord. We have a lot of off-stream conversations there. Earlier today, we had a Reaper Death Seal conversation that got a little crazy. Okay, lots of stuff there. Everyone check that out if you haven't. But it's possible that Nagato, going back to the rules of Ninshu, and that ninjutsu molds raw chakra. So what if Nagato has the raw chakra, but he molds it to split it or separate it into the ninjutsu, which sends out into the 6 paths of pain, and that's how he uses a chakra receiver.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That would be a matter of his choice to use it that way. The question is,
Oh no, I'm saying he
well,
would have
could
to use it this way.
Why?
Because under the rule that this is the way it would hypothetically have to be.
I mean, It's tricky because it's just like on one like Nagato's chakra, or I guess specifically Madara's Rinnegan chakra, just has these abilities.
I mean, do you consider Rinnegan Jutsu ninjutsu?
They're either ninjutsu or shinjutsu. And it would entirely depend. So the reason why it's kind of a gray area, it might depend on the Rinnegan jutsu too, but it really, in my opinion, I think shinjutsu are yin yang release techniques because of how it's described in Naruto Daybook, everything, and it kind of just pans out to be like it
Yeah.
definitely feels like it's the exact same thing.
Okay.
And if you compare all the things they do, it's like, oh, okay, this kind of tracks.
So
And yin yang release techniques happen to be a lot of Atsuki abilities.
I don't know if
Kurama
this
uses
even
them, Kaguya uses them.
I don't know if this even counts as a quote unquote technique, but the ability to have 6 paths of the Rinnegan.
It's the 6 paths technique.
Yeah, it's so is that a ninjutsu?
Is just well again, so that jutsu honestly is just the rods. That's basically what it is, and that is a yin yang release technique. Based off of my research on it that I've yet to put the video about, but anyway,
Yeah.
and because of that, I do think it is a shinjutsu.
So-
Assuming yin yang is shinjutsu.
So Pain and Obito obviously used corpses. Hypothetically, because the corpses Obito used were Edo Tensei, so they didn't need the chakra receivers. That's understandable. But like hypothetically, if you have 6
Well, they used them
non-corpses,
anyway.
yeah, 6
had them
non-corpses,
anyway, though.
they have to be corpses, or no?
Well,
Because like I'm thinking,
that
like
is-
if Sasuke found 6 people of Konoha, like the Konoha 12, if 6 of them, half of them just decided, all right, Sasuke, we're gonna fight with you. Give us your 6 paths powers. Can he just transmit to them the Rinnegan? Do they need the
So
chakra
that's
receivers,
where
and do they need to be
so-
dead?
So the thing is, you can control them, living people with the rods. You can definitely do that. And so it could just be a matter, and with that in mind, you're transmitting your chakra to them to control them. In theory, it doesn't really seem like there's any reason why Sasuke wouldn't be able to like transmit his Rinnegan or whatever to another person like that, or even his Sharingan, because Obito could do both eyes at that point. However, I think there's probably 2 cons to this. One is doing on a dead person, there's no resistance, so it would just be easier for the user because they don't have to override or like outdo the one they're controlling. They just kind of win automatically. There's probably less chakra draining or less taxing because of that. The second thing is, in theory, because we've never seen Nagato use like Rinnegan Jutsu from his own body eyes while using the 6 paths of pain, it's entirely possible that Nagato, while using the 6 paths of pain, cannot use any of those powers on his body, but can only do it where he's transmitted it. So it's possible that if Sasuke does that, well, yeah, he can give a Medo Tejikara to Boruto, but then Sasuke can't use Medo Tejikara himself.
Okay,
So there might be 2.
interesting. I don't think that is true, but it's possible.
The reason why it's tricky is because Obito doesn't use the abilities.
Exactly.
And
That's exactly what I was thinking.
He never gives, but the thing is, he never gives any of the Edo Tensei the ability to use Kamui. He doesn't like give them. The only thing he did was put the eyes in their sockets somehow, and I don't know if that it counts. So in theory, again, we don't actually know how this works, but theoretically, maybe Sasuke could get the Rinnegan Eye in Boruto, but he can't give Boruto the jutsu without giving up his own jutsu.
I don't think
So, in
Obito
that
could
case,
have
say,
given
why
any of
doesn't he
them Kamui. What makes you think he might have been able to?
Because Nagato was able to give his passive pain abilities.
The Rinnegan abilities, yeah.
But the thing is, the 6 pass technique isn't actually really a Rinnegan technique.
Well,
It's just the rods.
they weren't, okay, whatever, that's a different thing. They weren't his techniques in the first place. They're Rinnegan techniques. Like, if anything, they're Madara techniques, but I would say they're more so Hagoromo techniques, except they're not Hagoromo's techniques, because Hagoromo's not the first person with a Rinnegan. They're Otsutsuki abilities. They're just Rinnegan techniques.
The point, though, is it's the abilities, right? But they're not position in Nagato's. I mean, you can either fathom it to Nagato's chakra, just kind of like Madara's eye chakra may have just kind of integrated with Nagato's chakra as one option, or the other option is Nagato was just transmitting a chakra, not the regular Uzumaki chakra he had.
I also think
the point is what chakra he transmits.
I also think, because I know that
Obito transmitted both. Let's say Obito transmitted both Madara's Rinnegan chakra and his own Sharingan chakra simultaneously.
No, I'm pretty sure. I don't think he was making his own fake Sharingan duplicates. I think he was just using the Uchiha hideout Sharingan, like 30 eyes that they just had lying around.
The problem I have with that is they're Edo Tensei, and they don't have real eyes, and I don't think you can implant real eyes into the Edo Tensei for a couple of reasons. One is they automatically regenerate, so if you pluck out the eyes, they'll just regenerate them, and I don't know how that works if you have another eyeball in the socket. It might lead to problems, so I don't know if you can even do that, if you can just do that.
I think you could. Like, is there any instance of an Edo Tensei getting something, like, impaled within them? Because I would imagine the object would just stay there, and only when it's removed would they be able to heal it. Because it's almost like plugging a hole. Because I'm thinking, like, on a real person, if you, like, impale, like, a person, they're not going to bleed out of the hole. The blood's trying to go there, but it's like a blockage. If you pull it out, then you're going to start bleeding there, which is the bad thing to do, is what people say sometimes in certain instances.
I get what you're saying. I don't think we ever see the example to work with, unfortunately.
Fair enough. Because you could be right. It could just heal, which would make it automatically just pop out from it healing and moving it out of the way, basically. But I don't know.
Yeah. No, I don't. Yeah, it's tough.
Because the number one instance of that would be like Naruto healing against Haku. Naruto pops the needles out. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, the other issue, yeah, exactly. But the other issue is, I don't know if the optic nerves of a living eyeball will even connect to the paper body of the Edo Tensei. I don't know if that just works.
I don't know.
So, especially when you consider the fact that Madara's Edo Tensei, this is the whole thing with Madara's Rinne Rebirth revival is rather strange, because his Edo Tensei eyes crumble, but his body doesn't, which doesn't make sense, because, like, either if his body is fake and it's Edo Tensei, it should just crumble too, or if it doesn't, then his eyes should be the same, and you should just have the Edo Tensei eyes and have to take them out and put the other Rinnegan on it.
Maybe we're thinking too broadly. Maybe we can go even more specific. So right now we have the category of real Rinnegan and fake Rinnegan. What if within the category of fake Rinnegan, there's alive fake Rinnegan and dead fake Rinnegan? Because the 6 Paths of Pain, those are real eyeballs. The Edo Tensei, those weren't real eyeballs. The reason this is important, the real eyeballs that or I guess the fake alive eyeballs that the Pain
don't know if they're real eyeballs.
Could, like, use
Nobody ever
the
took
techniques.
out the 6 Paths of Pain eyeballs.
Well, they're real eyeballs.
Yeah, okay, here's a different hypothetical. If you plucked out the Diva Path's eyes, would they have turned back into normal Yahiko eyes immediately once they disconnected from his body?
I think
so, because the receivers wouldn't be in contact, so they would just go back to normal. In that case, you could say they're real eyes, but it's because they're Yahiko's eyes.
Well, I don't know if it would be like,
eyes.
First of all, because we know the Rinnegan itself contains chakra. We saw Urashiki transform. The problem is that's the real Rinnegan. We don't know if the fake Rinnegan itself contains chakra. So like it
But
might
I
have like
think
a
that's
limited
why-
usage after being plucked out. For example, like Obito, when he plucked his eye out and gave it to Kakashi, it didn't just turn off. In fact, it didn't have a limited chakra supply that would run out eventually or anything like that. It just stayed permanently on because it connected to Kakashi's chakra. Could be the same with Rinnegan. Fake Rinnegan, I should say.
That's where it's tricky, because on one hand I was gonna say the rods that transmit the chakra, I think, are transforming Yahiko's eyes into these Rinnegan eyes, right? The same logic kind of applies with like Obito, but his Sharingan or any other dojutsu situation, to where the chakra transformed the eyes into that. And so if it stays permanent afterwards, you could argue that, okay, well then maybe Yahiko's eyes would just be like Rinnegan eyes. Like theoretically, maybe like Nagato could have been, hey Naruto, you can take all 12 of those Pain's eyes, dish them out between the elite village. Like maybe it would have worked.
So, okay, what about this? We're gonna play chicken and the egg. We're jumping all over the place here. So, Nagato, he got the Rinnegan, and he's able to use Rinnegan chakra, however you want to consider that, six path chakra. I don't know what you consider it, but I feel like it's different, distinguishable from his normal chakra. So, it's almost like the Geto and Jogo question from JJK. Did Nagato have Rinnegan chakra because of the Rinnegan, or is it the Rinnegan that gave Nagato the Rinnegan? I don't know. I feel like there's two different ways of thinking about it. Like if you take out the Rinnegan from Nagato, is it the Rinnegan's chakra or is it Nagato's chakra that's giving the power? If you gave Nagato normal eyes, would those eyes transform into Rinnegan? And if you took out no, okay. Well, okay, but no, baby Nagato, no. But this isn't baby Nagato. This is the Nagato who's had the Rinnegan in his body for years. It could have like changed his chakra to now he just does have the Rinnegan chakra like throughout his body. It might have changed.
So what I was gonna say is, it is theoretically possible that it would have kind of leached out into him.
Yeah.
But the reason why I'm gonna say probably not is because, well, we got the prime candidate in Kakashi. His eyes didn't just turn back into Obito's Sharingan after having it for 30 years or whatever the hell. So I'm inclined to believe that probably not. Even if he retains a little bit of that chakra's power, it probably won't just turn him back into Rinnegan.
That's a
The eye
little bit
themselves
weird.
Is basically where it was contained.
I'm like 95% agree, but because Naruto used literally like pieces of Kakashi to form that eye, assuming those pieces of Kakashi were already used to the Obito chakra, that's now quote unquote normal for Kakashi. So his base eye would be the Sharingan power in a base form.
But that's not what happened. Blatantly. That's why he stops using Chidori in the first place. So we know that's not the case. It wasn't what happened.
Yeah.
Like in theory, that could have been that didn't happen. So
yeah.
So I would really say like Nagato had powerful chakra regardless. That's why he could use that Rinnegan. But the chakra in the Rinnegan was distinct from his own chakra.
Yeah. Okay, so but like, do you think there is a difference between the Six Paths of Pain's Rinnegans, the fake Rinnegans, versus Obito's fake Rinnegans from his Six Paths of Pains? Because like, I'm assuming they're
same jutsu.
It's same jutsu, but is it different Rinnegans?
Well, okay.
It's like one's using alive eyes, the other's not.
I could see is like the fact that Obito seemingly didn't give them like the six paths abilities with it, but was just manipulating their bodies. But ignoring that difference, I think the Rinnegan, it's the same Rinnegan eye. I think it's the exact same thing. Minus, did Obito even give them the ability to do the jutsu? Or perhaps, is it possible that, because to be fair, Nagato only uses those Rinnegan jutsu in those bodies. It's a little bit weird because they're Edo Tensei, and they're kind of alive at the same time. But in theory, like if Nagato didn't give Yahiko's Pain the Diva Path powers, could he have manipulated them into using Yahiko's normal abilities as a like option? Like, does he have to trade off? It's one or the other. The problem though is Yahiko's was a normal dead body, whereas with Obito's they were like living Edo Tensei, so it's like kind of unfair. So maybe Obito just has the advantage to where, well, he can just let him be Edo Tensei powers without doing the other thing.
Because what I'm thinking is the fact that the Edo Tensei eyes aren't real eyes in the first place, regardless of if they're Rinnegan or not. When Madara came back to life, his eyes melted out of his head because they were ash the whole time. It's literally, it was just ash. There was not an eye in the first place. There's no optic nerve connecting or anything like that. It's just ash. And so that would apply to Obito's six-path eyes. They were never eyes. They were just ash. Are those? So I feel like that does make it different in some kind of way from the alive fake eyes that were never eyes.
The difference is that if you pluck out the Edo Tensei eyes, you can't use them as a normal eye in someone else in any capacity. They're just ash. That would be the difference there. The difference isn't the physicality of the eyeball. The Edo Tensei eyes are still Edo Tensei ash eyes, even if they have Rinnegan chakra now.
What I'm wondering
but the
right
Yahiko
now,
ones are dead body eyes.
I'm wondering if Nagato... So hypothetically, if the Deva path had its Rinnegan ripped out, it's fake Rinnegan, because... This gets a little bit tricky. Because the Rinnegan is a lot of chakra, or contains a lot of chakra, I'm wondering if Nagato can transmit a lot of his chakra into the Deva path to restore its Rinnegan eyes.
I don't think so, because that would be a regenerative power that Nagato has never displayed.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't say
because,
it's
like,
regenerative,
the Rinnegan eye
because it'd be regenerating the
pure
chakra.
eye. It's a literal eye.
Yeah, that's a thing. Okay.